Hey guys, how's it going? This is Cat back with another episode of Unchained with the Captain, and with me today is my esteemed colleague Doerle.
The Doerle.
The Doerle. The definitive the Doerle, as opposed to the indefinite a Doerle.
The Doerle.
And today we are going to be talking about Expendables 3! We saw a special screening, and you guys probably know what that means, of the Expendables 3. And what did you think of the Expendables 3, Doerle?
Well, I'm not so much a fan of action movies generally. I go for a little bit different movie when I'm picking something out to watch. But keeping that in mind, that knowing that I don't like them, I'm going to have to say for an action movie, just taken as that, you know, not expecting anything out of it more than an action movie, it was okay. It wasn't a bad movie at all. There was a lot of really neat scenes in it, really caught you right away with a good opening scene. Really did a good job of introducing the characters, new and old. There was a great comic relief character played by Antonio Banderas. And, I don't know, wrapped everything up at the end of the movie. It was what you would expect out of an action flick.
I agree. I thought this was a really good, well, not really good, but I mean really good for an action movie. I actually really liked this movie. I liked it a lot better than Expendables 2, in fact. Some of the points I want to hit on is Harrison Ford. He kind of replaces the Bruce Willis character from the first two, where Bruce Willis was Church, and you know, and this guy's kind of like the same, kind of like a CIA spook, I guess is what you call him. And I thought he did a really good job, and I was really surprised that you know, there was a lot of action with him. You know, like he ends up flying a helicopter at the end. You know, and it's really cool. You know, I like that aspect of it a lot.
I liked seeing Harrison Ford in it. Star Wars, obviously, and I can't help but think that you know, there were a lot of inside jokes in this movie, and Harrison Ford flying around to save the day at the end in the helicopter was kind of a nod to Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon at the end of Episode 4. I
would agree. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and yeah, that's another aspect of this movie. It's got a lot of inside jokes to it. Okay, so obviously Wesley Snipes is in it, and they rescue him at the beginning of the movie, and they ask him what he was in for, and he says tax evasion. Well, obviously, you know, Wesley Snipes went to jail for tax evasion, you know, at some point. And also, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger gets off a good one, you know, towards the end of the movie. He's like, "Get to the chopper!" Which, you know, like is like a big thing, you know, among, you know, people who are kind of nerdy about the Predator movie.
A very often quoted action flick line right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I thought that was really cool that they threw that in there. You know, it's like, you know, like a nod to the fans and stuff. You know, yeah, it was really good. Now, a lot of people have problems with this movie because they spend a decent amount of time, you know, like Sylvester Stallone ditches like his whole crew, and then he goes after like new Expendables, but they're like super young, and people didn't like that. And you know what? I kind of didn't like that either. I wanted to see like the Expendables. I wanted to see, you know, like Jason Statham and Dolph Lundgren and all those guys, you know, and you know, I felt like that did kind of take away from the movie a little bit.
Yeah, it was a vastly different cast from the first movie. I never saw the second movie. That's how really unimpressed I was with the first. But yeah, entirely different cast. You have you know, Dolph and you know, Jason Statham in this time, and then Sylvester Stallone. You know, that was great having all of them together. And they brought in the new characters. Really made me think of Gone in 60 Seconds, where they bring in, you know, the young crew and have them work with the old crew.
Yeah.
But you know, just to narrow that down to one movie, it's a theme that's repeated a lot.
Right. And I don't know how Doerle feels about it, but I felt like it was really unnecessary to, you know, bring in like all these kids that nobody knows, you know.
Almost like a filler for the movie.
It was, yeah.
Added an extra 30 minutes worth of plot, and it wasn't necessarily there. You could chop the movie down, and the plot would advance just as well.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I felt like, it didn't really need to be there. That was my thoughts on it.
Now, the character that did need to be there was Antonio Banderas.
Oh my God!
Great comic relief, and they even do a good job of fleshing him out and giving him a little bit of real human depth. And they're able to bring some emotion into Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree.
Without going into too much detail of him, I'd give that character 2 thumbs up.
Yeah. No, I absolutely, I did too. I thought he was great. A lot of people are hating on him for that. But I thought it was really, he did a really good job of providing that comic relief that you need in an action movie. And I did some research on the internet, and from what I read, he added a lot to his character. He gave him notes, and he changed the name of the character. Originally, he was supposed to be called Matador. But yeah, he got him to change the name of the character, and he, like I said, he had a lot of his own lines, and I'm sure he improvised some of this stuff, But I thought he did a great job. I loved it. I loved his character.
Wasn't necessary, but I think it was a very excellent unnecessary addition.
It was a great addition. Yeah.
Now there were some great big fight scenes that should be really enjoyable. Lots of explosions, troopies and tanks and helicopters, large vehicles. There's water, there's air, there's land. Everything you're going to want to see out of a good action movie.
Oh yeah.
And these guys are getting pretty old, so
yeah.
They
are.
Yeah, they are starting to get pretty old. So it's it's good to see them still out there not breaking hips.
Yeah.
Except Harrison Ford, I guess he broke his ankle. But that was Star Wars.
Yeah. All right, guys, so that's all we got for you. Again, I would like to thank my buddy Doerle for being here and doing this review with me. And don't forget to stay tuned for one of my horrible, horrible impressions, and you guys are dismissed.
You maniacs! You didn't like or subscribe! God damn you! God damn you all to hell if you don't favorite this video!